Can $1 thriller books actually scare me? That's what I wanted to find out in today's video. So I picked out 3 of the creepiest books from my Dollar Tree haul to see if these could actually freak me out. The lineup: Anna O, a book about a girl who killed 2 people in her sleep. I can't make this up. Such a Pretty Smile, a book about a serial killer and his victims. Why does the cover look pretty?
Hi.
And Beneath the Stairs, a book about a haunted house that traumatizes all who enter. No thank you. But here's the weirdest part. Somehow all of these books had creepy themes of sleepwalking, comas, nightmares, and I didn't even know that going in. And that's honestly freaking me out more than the stories themselves. But let's see what I thought about these 3 books. I'm laying down because Gypsy's in my legs right now. Aww. But I wanted to give you guys an update because I'm 38% through Anna O, and I'm so bored. And I had such high expectations because this is a thriller and I needed something quick and fun. And this is neither of those things. I'm so upset because I really thought this would be interesting and maybe it will pick up. I'm still gonna read it. Maybe it'll pick up, but I'm at 38% right now and I'm not having a good time. But I think I have a problem where like I have to finish a book once I start it. I've only ever DNF'd 1 book in my life and that was The Ministry of Time. So hopefully this picks up, please, because I'm literally honestly confused and bored. And that's the worst combination of things that I could be when reading a book, and especially a thriller. I have an update. I'm officially 58% through Anna O, and I still hate it so much. This book is straight ass, straight buns, straight cheeks. I just am not having a good time. I'm actually having a miserable time, and every time I update my Goodreads, it's just me complaining about how mid this book is. I've been hating reading that book so much that I decided that I would just pick up my next book, which is Such a Pretty Smile, and this book is so much better because it's actually somewhat thrilling. This book, where's the thrill? But now for the summaries, because although I'm not liking this book, you might. This book follows Dr. Benedict Prince, who's a forensic psychologist, and he's working with a girl named Anna Ogilvy, I don't know, Anna O, and she's currently in like a coma, like a state of sleep because of a trauma response because she stabbed 2 people to death in her sleep. Like while she was sleepwalking, she killed 2 of her friends, and as a trauma response, her body just like shut down and now she's been sleeping for 4 years. So Dr. Benedict Prince has to try to wake her up so that she can stand trial. That sounds really freaking entertaining, right? So you would think that going into this book, it's gonna be thrilling. We're gonna get to hear about a crazy murder. Like, no. We're literally following boring ass Dr. Prince in his life. Like we're learning about his daughter and his wife kind of, but it feels more just like filler and pointless. And the way that this is written is so confusing for me. And I don't know if it's because it's British. If you follow my channel, you kind of know that I already struggled with reading a British book in the past. It shouldn't be that crazy. We both speak English, but I don't know why it like gets so confusing for me. It's probably a skill issue. I don't know. It's not flowing. Like the prose is just like choppy and weird. And I just really was not enjoying this book. If I'm able to in my head get over this, I want to DNF this book, but I've only DNF'd 1 book and it's still on my Goodreads because I can't fully swallow the fact that I'm gonna DNF a book for the first time. So if I can get myself to, I want to DNF this, but for now I've just moved on to the next book, which is Such a Pretty Smile by Christy DeMeester. This book is going by so much quicker. I'm enjoying this so much more. It's actually thrilling, and right now I'm like 69% through, and I actually stopped reading because I think I'm about to read a part that's gonna be crazy and I want to read it on camera. This book follows Lila Sawyer, who's a 13-year-old girl, and Caroline Sawyer, who's her mother. So when Caroline Sawyer was younger, she actually experienced trauma on a level that I can't explain because I don't want to give anything away, but she experienced severe trauma that causes her to experience PTSD, and she's also medicated because she was seeing visions and hearing things that weren't actually there. But now we're following Lila Sawyer, who's her 13-year-old daughter, and she's starting to experience the same things that her mom did. They keep having almost supernatural experiences that the the doctors are attributing to a psychosis of sorts, where they're hearing dogs growling and they keep doing weird things. Like Caroline Sawyer is an artist and she keeps building these creepy statues of basically humans with dog features, humans with fangs and like big wide mouths and claws, and it's really, really creepy. And we also know that there's a serial murderer who's on the loose known as the Cur, and he takes young girls and he literally like brutalizes them. It's so graphic, it's so scary, and it's like animalistic. So it's interesting that they're having like these visions of creepy humanoid dog figures that are torturing their mind. And then there's also this human man who's like torturing girls like an animal would. So yeah, this book is difficult to explain, but it is interesting and I'm really having a good time. And like I said, I just got to a point in this book where the tension is really high and I feel like something's going to be revealed that's going to be pretty scary. So I think I'm going to read it on camera just to get my reaction. And then hopefully I can finish this book today and then give you guys my closing thoughts. But that's all I have to update for now.
I'm scared. Oh, I hate little kids. Hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, fuck. That scared me.
You guys, I'm back and I have quite the update. I will report that I finished Such a Pretty Smile last night and then I ended up going directly into Beneath the Stairs, and this book was really good. But let's first talk about my concluding thoughts on Such a Pretty Smile. Ultimately, I'm not super satisfied, but this book ended up being okay. Overall, I have positive feelings for it, but a positive with a question mark. Like, I'm not totally sure how I feel about this book completely, but I know I didn't hate it, and that usually tells me that it's around a 2.5 or a 3 stars. I will say that there was a lot of tension. There are a lot of good things about this book. Beneath all of like the thriller and horror, there is an underlying message of feminism and commentary on the patriarchy in general and how women are kind of inherently made to feel more scared just like being a woman in the world. And I really did appreciate that. I just don't think it was handled how it could have been. I feel like it could have been a lot stronger of a story in general, and maybe we were relying too much on that to be kind of the backbone of this fear, and to have that kind of be ultimately the saving grace of this book, I don't think worked very well. I think if all of that was removed, it's kind of just like a weird book at the end of the day, and I wasn't necessarily looking for that. I wanted like a scary, thrilling read, and there were parts, like I said, and especially the part that I read on camera, I was honestly so on edge that whenever my doorbell rang, that's why I physically jumped. It freaked me out. So I do appreciate that. It was a little bit scary, but overall didn't love it. So I think I'm going to rate this book a 3 star. I don't think it's horrible, but I think that there was a lot of potential there that wasn't fully explored. I feel like the ending wasn't wrapped up in a nice, beautiful bow. It was more like crumpled and like taped together, if that makes sense. So yeah, but this book was way better than Anna O, and better than that book was Beneath the Stairs. This book was really good in my opinion. Beneath the Stairs is about a friend group of young 14 or 13-year-old girls. One of them's named Claire and one of them's named Abby, and there's 2 other friends, but they're not as important to the storyline. One of the girls knows that there's a house that's hidden in the woods and it's basically in her backyard, but she's never traveled to it because it's creepy. But one night all the girls decide to go, and it's there where they find that in the house is a basement door that can't be opened, but every once in a while it creaks open for just the right person. And this happens for Abby, so she goes down the stairs and she sees a doll on the steps, but whenever she tries to grab it, something creepy happens, and Claire just happens to be behind her, and she doesn't know if Claire saw what happened or not. It's just like really weird and freaky, and both the girls end up running out of the house, but they always feel a connection to this creepy octagon house, and Abby keeps returning there despite knowing that she shouldn't, and despite the toll it's taking on her mental health and her family in general. And one night she goes back alone with a bunch of pills, and people think that she was going to kill herself in that house, but Claire thinks that there's more to the story that she wants to uncover. So we're basically following Claire trying to piece together what happened that night and why Abby decided to venture back to that creepy house. But there is so much more to the story than just that. We're following not only these girls girls that ventured back to the house, but we're also following a past timeline of everybody that's lived in that house before. And those stories are pretty scary. One of the original families that lived in this house was a man, his wife, and their 2 daughters, and the police reported that the man shot his wife and one of his daughters and then traumatized the other one enough to send her to a mental institution, but that wasn't actually the case. But no one really knows what happens, and that's another one of the plot lines that Claire is trying to follow and piece together. So this story is just really expansive. I can tell that the author really took her time with this story. I feel like this was a really intentional book and that she wanted to close all the loopholes that were open by the end, and she was able to weave these stories into a super believable storyline. I also felt like the friend group was really realistic. Like, all of the conversation that happened in the book felt incredibly accurate. And this is so random, but there was even a brother's best friend kind of romance brewing throughout it, and I actually really liked that, and I thought it was super well done. This isn't necessarily a book that you can just turn your brain off and read and have a good time with. You really do have to be present because there's so much going on within the backstories that weave together in a way that makes for such a thrilling and compelling read, but one that you do have to be present in order to piece together. But even then, I do feel that there were a few questions that I still had by the end of the book that weren't answered, and that's why I'm ultimately giving this book a 4 stars, which is a really incredible rating, and I do think that this book deserves it. I was even debating a 4.5, but I think I'm settling on a 4 stars. So as for the books that scared me, obviously not Anna O, but I thought both of these books were pretty creepy in certain aspects. I do think that this one's more like horror creepy, like bloody scary, and then this one's more like thrilling storyline scary. Although I started off with a book that I didn't like, I was able to work my way to a book that I did like, and then ultimately to a book that I really, really liked, maybe even loved. And I was absolutely not expecting that out of dollar thriller books. So I'm super satisfied with this outcome. And obviously, if you couldn't already tell, I would not recommend Anna O. I would maybe recommend Such a Pretty Smile, but I would definitely recommend Beneath the Stairs. So, can $1 thriller books actually scare me? These didn't, but they definitely left an impression, although not always a favorable one. If you saw my last book haul, let me know which Dollar Tree books I should read next. Bye!